Up, Buddy Nerdigans? This is the one and only Packer Girl 89 of Nerdigans, and today's Manga Nerdigan live reaction video is going to be for Detective Conan chapters 1144 through 1145. But before I get into this recap and live reaction, we are at war with YouTube's algorithm, and it is slowly but surely killing my channel. And in order to defeat this algorithmic beast, we need you to please hit that like, share, and subscribe buttons. And because, of course, this channel, let alone this video, are not sponsored, if you love what we're doing and want to help keep me, my adorable little Bubba Kitty over here, and this operation literally alive and kicking, so we could keep bringing you more anime and manga content, whether it be news, analysis, or live reactions like this one, feel free to hit up our Cash App, PayPal, and Coffee. Links are in the description box below, as well as the link to our Patreon, where we are doing our anime live reaction content, because unlike YouTube, where we constantly have to worry about getting a copyright strike for showing anything on the screen, well, Patreon, we don't have to worry about that. So we can have our full setup of the anime and manga side by side and have the audio to boot, which is not only great for busting a botched localization or two, but it's great for when we cover anime original content like, say, Dragon Ball Daima, which we covered in both the sub and the dub. And the more views and subscribers we get on Patreon, the more anime we'll cover. And hell, if you're a $10 patron, you get to choose the series we cover as well. And there's a stacked spring anime season in full swing, in which we're covering Vigilante, Boku no Hero Academia, Legals, Fire Force Season 3, and Witch Watch, and there's even more on the way. So please check out our Patreon. The link is in the description box below. So last time we covered Detective Conan, it wasn't the criminals that were just busted. No, Kogoro was busted too, and it was goddamn funny. But let's get into 1144 and see what's in store for us today. And this chapter is titled The Man Who Was Called. A new case begins. A dark memory stuck in the mind. Ooh! Now this is going to be interesting. This time Conan continues to be troubled about something when he receives an information about a man in black. What on earth was that? After school at Tayton Elementary, the great detective deep in thought. Just before I started tailing the old man around town the other day, a fragment of a memory flashed through my mind. All I remember is that the engineer named Suguru-san was developing some kind of software. He was contacted by a big man who spoke in Kansai dialect in order to get a hold of that software, and that man was Tequila, a member of the Black Organization. Yes! Finally a Black Organization chapter! Thank God! It's been eternity! A deal had been arranged temporarily, but Tequila lost his life in a completely unrelated incident. The person who took over the deal negotiation was a haughty woman who spoke like a queen. It was probably Vermouth. Yep. The question is, what kind of software was it? That software was something that Itakura-san abandoned mid-development for the sake of humanity. Why was the Black Organization so eager to get their hands on it? And why did I suddenly remember this at that time in the first place? If I'm not wrong, at that time, Iri-san said that I thought that living separately would give him a good taste of his own medicine, but it seems that it was pointless. Good taste of his own medicine? Wait, but then Rand said, isn't it about time you forgave him already? If anything, don't you think that the medicine is working too well? Did I react to the word medicine? Wait. But then, what was that memory of Haibara that flashed through my mind along with that? It was in the TV broadcast van when she muttered, people can't go against the flow of time. If they try to forcibly bend it, they will be punished. What'd she mean by punished? Well, playing God will punish you. Do you want to be punished or something? Huh? The punishment for when Higashiro-san and I burnt the flower bed. Conan-kun, will you help us with watering the flowers? Wait, are you guys still watering the plants like the principal punished you to do? Wasn't it supposed to be just for a month? Yeah, it was, but it kind of turned into a habit. I'm helping too. Well, the principal always smiles from behind while watching us water them, so I think he's already forgiven us. Maybe he's secretly keeping an eye on you to see if you're actually doing it right. Sometimes those gentle-looking type people can totally snap when they lose it. Absolutely inexcusable, which is true. Come to think of it, he yelled at that time, right? Well, speaking of yelling, the other day when I was out shopping with my mom, I saw a suspicious guy shouting at an old man. A suspicious guy? Yeah, at first I thought he was just yelling, but he was actually trying to steal the old man's luggage. And when the old man tried to hold on to it, the guy grabbed him and took off with him. Well, that's a serious crime! Did you get a good look at his face? I couldn't see his face, but his face was hidden behind the hoodie. He was super tall. He was a super tall guy dressed in black from head to toe. You know, the first thing that's going to come to my mind is a freaking LARPer, but no, don't do that to me, Manga. No. The men in black? No. Where was that? Where was that? Where exactly did you see him? Near the intersection by the Big Town supermarket. My dad will come back there again, because he looks suspicious. But my mom said she saw him yesterday too. She said she sees him near the supermarket every day around 4 o'clock in the evening. I've got to go and check it out. Conan-kun, Haibara, you definitely can't come. Got it? Jeez, of course. I told you not to follow me. It's fine when I asked Yoshida-san about it in detail afterwards. It sounded okay. In detail? I mean, Yoshida-san's mom saw that suspicious guy, and yet she didn't report it to the police, right? Yeah, my mom just smiled and, it's okay. We don't need to tell the police. You'll understand, too, if you study English, is what you said. English? Wait, is that guy a foreigner? Will that guy really come if we wait here? Yep, he always just buys juice from this vending machine. Juice, huh? Yeah, it's some kind of special fruit juice. Oh, Andre Campbell, the agent. That's him. That's the suspicious guy I saw, huh? Who the hell are you? He's got the face of a total bad guy, huh? No, oh, right, his short hair makes him hardly recognizable. Wait, do you know this guy? Yeah, I'm pretty sure you said Andre, about that. He's Andre, Reikio-san, huh? You guys also met him once, remember? He was in the 19th year alumni reunion of Taden Elementary School. Was he really in that classroom? There were a lot of people. I don't remember at all. Hey, isn't it this man, Agent Andre Campbell from the FBI? What is he doing here? He must have been jogging, no? He also trained at the stairs of some hotel before just because the restaurant on the top floor served his favorite special fruit juice. Doesn't matter if he's an alum of Taden Elementary School, a crime won't be forgiven. You yelled at an old man, stole his things and kidnapped him, right? You're a super bad guy. No, that's probably... Huh? You were just taking an old foreigner to Vega Station? Yeah. Apparently that old guy came from America to do some sightseeing with a friend who speaks Japanese, but they got separated. His phone's battery died just as his friend was telling him that he'd be waiting at Vega Station, so he was at a loss. Then why were you yelling at him? The old man's hearing aid wasn't working. No matter how many times I tried speaking loudly to him, he couldn't hear me, so I told him I'd take him to the station. But when I picked up his suitcase, he started accusing me of wanting to steal it, and we got into a fight over the bag. It was a pain, so I carried both the suitcase and the old man to the station, that's all. So you're actually a good guy. Your face is kind of scary, though. Thanks. Let's get going, then. All right, it was just a big misunderstanding. Bye-bye, Ando-san. Crash? A knife! What? Hello, did something happen? Maybe they are having a fight. A gunshot. That sound just now. Did it come from Ayako's room over there? She was joking about getting her hands on a gun, but don't tell me she really... So this is Takabuki Michiyoshi. He's third... Oh God, he's younger than me. I hate feeling old. A host. Hey, what's wrong, Ayako-chan? Answer me. You're in there, aren't you? Oh, so we're dealing with hosts, huh? Okay, so this guy's 28, and this is Nishime Ikuto. He's 28. Ayako-chan, come on, Ayako-chan. What happened? A man and a woman were having a big argument inside the room, and when we thought they had calmed down, they started quarreling again. And then there was that loud sound just now. Can you ask the landlord to open the door? Yes, but at this time the landlord must be... he must be at the pachinko... Of course, he must be at the pachinko parlor in front of Bega Station. Well, even if you run, it will probably take around 10 minutes. And that's Shimbo Sadaro, H31, host. 30 minutes later, Futamura-san, this is the landlord, Yoshiwara. I'm coming in. Ayako? Hey, what's with all this smoke? Something's burning. No way. Ayako-chan! Oh, she got shot! Ayako-chan! Oh my God, what? How did this happen? Don't touch her. Gun. If it's lying here, it must mean that... Is it a murder? No. A chain of thick rubber bands is stuck to the leg of a table. If you if you hook the other end of these rubber bands around the grip of the gun while holding down the table with your foot and then shot your head, after pulling the trigger, the pistol would fly out of your hand and it would be possible to make it look like a murder, right? Wait a second. Then the reason Ayako called me here, I also came here because she called me here. Me too. It seems like the reason this woman called you all here might have been to frame me for her murder. What's wrong, Ibara-san? Are you okay? Ai-chan? Now, isn't that odd? Not this fucker! The person living here ordered 2 servings of this special nigiri from Irohazushi. Basically, nigiri or nigiri zushi is a type of hand-formed sushi that is topped with seafood. So don't you think she must have called not 3 people but just 1? Oh, Conan, what an odd place for us to meet, right? By any chance, have I also met you somewhere before? Oh, shit. A fateful encounter after 2 years. Is it a golden opportunity or an impending crisis? Oh, this is going to be very interesting. Okay, let's get to 11:45, which is titled A Perilous Reunion, the hidden identity that must not be uncovered. Oh, shit. This time, the one who appears in front of Camel is Wakita, a.k.a. Rum. They met each other 2 years ago, but what happens now? Dude, seriously, Viz, I hate you for not including opening and closing text for this fucking reason. Seriously. There are many reasons why I do not cover that unreadable localization from Viz. This is just one of many. Thank God. It is worth waiting the extra few days for a fan translation. Like usually when it comes to, when I cover chapters on this channel, I usually cover it the moment I get it's available. But this is one of those times where it's like, no, I have to wait for the fan translation to come out because that shit is unreadable for Viz. I can't with it. And I'm glad you guys are extremely patient and understand. I feel like I've met you somewhere before. A sudden reunion attends murder scene, but it seems I was mistaken. I see. No, I'm sure I met this person somewhere before, but where exactly? Oh, is something wrong? Yes. My friend's not feeling well, so we thought we'd take her to the nearby park and have a rest. Well, it's so good for kids to stay near a murder scene after all. Should I go buy some water? Oh, wait. Hey, Makita-san, do you have a Band-Aid? Yeah, I've got one. Then give it to that person. It looks like he stepped on shards of broken tableware. I've already asked Ando-san to call the police, so that's already been taken care of. Is that so? Yes, it's at an apartment complex called Yoshiwara Villa on the 4th block of Town. The deceased is Futabura Ayako-san, 28 years old. Dude, Conan, that was smart, because Rum was about to recognize Haibara. She was a hostess working at a cabaret club called Blaze in... Of course it's called Blaze. In Hido Town, the cause of death was intracranial damage from a gunshot wound to the head. The murder weapon, the gun, was found lying away from the victim. At first glance, it looks like murder, but if you take the chain, this chain of rubber bands, thick rubber bands, stick it to the leg of the table, hook the other end of the rubber band onto the grip of the gun, and shoot yourself in the head while holding down the table with your foot, the gun would fly away from your hand, making a suicide look like a murder. Yes, that's one possibility. And Kodakan and the others heard the gunshot, right? Yep. Ando-san and I just happened to pass by this apartment when we heard the sound of things breaking one after another. And then when we thought we heard a thump sound, a knife came flying out of this window. A knife? Yeah, we thought maybe there were people fighting inside, so Ando-san called out. Is everything all right in there, right? Yeah, but there was no answer, so we waited for a while. And then when we heard a gunshot, we rushed over here and saw that the residents had already gathered in front of the door. The door was locked, so we called the landlord, who was at the Pachinko parlor, had them open the door, went inside, and that's how we found this body. I see. Ando-san, have we met before? No. By the way, what's your occupation? Ando-san isn't a suspect. Ando-san isn't a suspect, so there's no need to know all that, right? You're right. Mm-hmm. And the late Futamura Ayako-san sent a message to each of you who work at different host clubs, calling all of you here. Right? Takabuki-san, Nishihime-san, and Shinobu-san? Yeah, when I got here, the kids were already looking up at Ayako's room. And when the gunshot rang out, the kids and I heard it together. right? Well, that's what happened, right? Well, not exactly together. You appeared from behind us after the gunshot sound. It's the same thing. No, it's not. Shut up, bro. What about you, Nishihime-san? I was also in front of the door before the gunshot sound. When I got to Yako-chan's room, the residents were already gathered in front of the door. They said that a man and a woman were having a big fight, but it has settled down now. And then, like this kid said earlier, we started to hear sounds of many pieces of tableware breaking on one after another. I figured they started to fight again, so I called out to them through the door, but there was no answer. Then suddenly there was a gunshot and these kids showed up. And as soon as we arrived, I suggested we have the landlord open the door, right? And just as I arrived, I told you, as I knew, that the landlord would be at the pachinko parlor by the station at that time. Before every time that she sent text saying that she was going to die and then tried to commit suicide by slitting her wrists in the bathroom. I've had to find the landlord and have him open the door. But if this is true, there should be marks on her wrists from this knife. And I gotta wonder if the knife that she threw out the window would be the knife that she used. And if that is true, the knife would have blood on it, right? And just as I arrived, I told you, okay, I fucked this up, I'm sorry. The text that she sent me earlier was also, I'll die if you don't come here immediately. You guys got the same text as well, right? Yes, same here. So that's why, Inspector, this is a suicide. She just didn't want to die for nothing, so she tried to pin the blame on us. She probably faked a fight with a man by changing the tone of her voice, smashed the tableware, and threw a knife out of the window. Then she used that rubber band trick to make her suicide by gun look like a murder, and wanted it to seem like the murder escaped through the open window afterwards. But then that delivery guy from the sushi place, sorry about that. As you can see, we received an order directly from her of 2 servings of the special nigiri. If she had called 3 people, shouldn't that have been 4 servings? Again, she placed an order only to take advantage of the logic that nobody planning to kill themselves would do such a thing. The number of servings doesn't matter. Also on the phone she said this, put an extra portion of fatty tuna in his serving because he really loves it. Is there someone who likes fatty tuna? That's, well, I don't hate it, but... And there are also other traces of this being a murder. Have a look at the gunshot wound on the victim's head. If she had killed herself with the gun, the muzzle would have been in contact with her skin, and she would have gotten burn marks. However, there aren't any. You're right. Furthermore, this table, even though there's dust and cigarette ashes all over it, there is one suspiciously clean spot. If you look closely at the groove on the edge of the table, you'll see a dark red stain that wasn't wiped away. If this turns out to be the victim's blood, maybe while she was struggling against someone, she fell, hit her head there, and passed out due to the severity of the injury. And in order to hide that, someone used the gun to shoot her head. I see. Well, besides, Takabuki-san mentioned that the victim had originally acquired the gun. She sent me a picture of the gun to show it off, but I never thought it could be the real deal. Also, it's strange that the heater is on even though it's not cold today, and that the cuckoo clock is 10 minutes behind for some reason. The way you talk, it's almost as if you were a police officer. You know, Ando-san? Well, Ando-san said that he likes mysteries. Besides, in the kitchen there was also a whole lot of weird stuff. Hey, Haibara, are you okay? Meanwhile, are you feeling a little better now? Yes, I'm glad. When I started feeling bad, wasn't there someone suspicious around? There were 2 people who lived in the apartment. There were also 3 men who said they had been called there. And come to think of it, that a guy from a sushi restaurant was there. He was delivering sushi. Guy from a sushi restaurant? But it seemed like he was Conan-kun's acquaintance. That's right, he also borrowed some band-aids from him. At Agawa-kun's? Well, he was acquaintance from, he's probably unrelated. I thought I felt their presence, but if the culprit from this case was at the scene, maybe what I felt was just that person's bloodlust. She felt it. First, we go around to the stove and the sink. In the sink, there's a frying pan with its contents burned, but for some reason, there are 2 lids. The burned contents are cut vegetables and dried noodles, so it looks like she was cooking instant yakisoba noodles, but there was no need for 2 lids, right? In addition, one of the lids is kind of deformed, and also a bag of rice was left on the other side of the stove. The one who touched this frying pan was you, right, Takabuki-san? Were the lid and the rice here from the start? Yeah, I guess so. There was smoke coming out, so I just poured some water on the frying pan. Another thing that bothers me is that the microwave that is this microwave that has fallen over next to the window in the kitchen. I guess it was actually placed next to that rice cooker over there. But if someone went through the trouble of plugging it into the extension cord, maybe it was placed on top of that refrigerator. Also, why would you put it on top of the refrigerator? Stupid. Also, there are a lot of empty plastic bottles scattered around the microwave. But one of these plastic bottles has been deformed and has a hole in it. There's also a cutting board among the shattered tableware scattered on the floor. It's the kind that can also be used as a tray when you flip it over. On the floor, there's a knife, a fork, and a spoon as well. So I think the culprit must have used them for something. Those are some impressive observation skills, Conan. It's not that impressive, because I also love mysteries, just like Ando-san. Huh? Usually he would say something like, I heard it from Nichan. The one who first got close to this window was Shinobu-san, wasn't it? That's right. At that time, did you see anyone suspicious running away? No, there was a lot of smoke, so looking for someone like that at that moment was out of the question. You weren't hurt because you didn't step on the shattered tableware, right, Shimbo-san? Did you know where the shards were? That's because when we came in through the front door, I put on slippers. I also put them on because we heard the sound of tableware breaking. Didn't you put them on too? You're right. Well, I'm sorry for being so sloppy. For now, we will have you three undergo a body check. Since you entered this crime scene before us, there's a chance you took something and are hiding it. Well, that's probably smart. Neither Takabuki-san, nor Nishimi-san, nor Shimbo-san had anything suspicious in their possession. We had the residents who heard a man and a woman fight listen to the three of their voices, but apparently the man's voice was low and they couldn't hear it well, so they couldn't recognize it. Then was it Ayaka-san who changed the tone of her voice to make it the male voice after all? That would mean that the blood on the table was also left there on purpose to make it look like a murder. No, you're wrong. This was a murder. The culprit hid whatever it was that made that gunshot sound. If Takabuki-san, who was near the sink, wanted to hide it, he could have dropped it in the drain. Shimbo-san, who was by the window, could have thrown it outside. And Nishimi-san, who approached the victim, could have hid it somewhere within the body. But if that were the case, it would have been found right away, which is true. And would it really be that easy to hide something that made such a loud gunshot sound in the first place? It's also possible that she ordered the sushi to harass the three people she called here so that they would remember her corpse every time they saw sushi. It's possible that she was that type of person. Come to think of it, Mitsuhiko mentioned that sometimes those gentle-looking type people can totally snap when they lose it. That is very true. That's why, it's always the quiet ones you gotta watch out for. And also chipper people. Chipper people are fucking scary, too. But he is right. You never know when they will snap. I must say, there's something odd about these yakisoba dry noodles. They were soaked in water and have softened, but on top they're stiff. Almost as if they had been cooked without adding any water. Of course there was that option. If that's how it was, the culprit must be that person. The remaining question is, hey, Mr. Forensics, could it be that the number of plastic balls and the number of caps don't match, right? Yeah, we can't seem to find one, as if it had disappeared. That's right. The culprit erased the actual time of the crime. Who stands at the end of Conan's suspicion? Next chapter, resolution. So it's going to be in the 28th issue of the next chapter, and I think it's going to be a little bit of a hiatus for this. I think from what I remember, it's like a 1 month hiatus or something like that. But man, this chapter was really good, dude. This case is good. But Rum, you sneaky motherfucker, you. Haibara felt that bloodlust. She did. But Rum knows something sus. But there was something about, I want to go back to chapter 1144 for a second here. That I think is very important. About time that was mentioned. It was this. People can't go against the flow of time. If they try to forcibly bend it, they will be punished. Well, there's the cuckoo clock, right? In regards to this case, there's the cuckoo clock where it's 10 minutes behind and whatnot. there's that in this case. But when I first saw this, the first thing I thought of was the black organization turning like Conan and or Shinichi and Haibara like into kids. That is forcibly bending time. In this case, their youth, or turning them back into kids. They will be punished for it. They're going to be punished for it. Like in this case though, obviously the culprit's going to be caught and be busted for murder because they were turning back the clock. But this case though, or not this case, but like in general, in the case of like Shinichi's and Haibara's situation, turning them into kids, the black organization, what they're doing, they will be punished. They will be punished for playing God. They will. It's like this every time. When you play with God, there is a punishment. There is. It's equivalent exchange. We've seen it in like Full Metal Alchemist, for example, when they tried to bring back the dead. We've seen it in we better get it in Kagurabachi because of what Samura is doing. What's another series off the top of my head that I could think of? We see that in like D. Grayman with what happened with the bookkeeper, with Bookkeeper Jr. Or not Bookkeeper, I'm sorry, Bookman. With Bookman Jr., like what he did, that was playing God. Or like what we saw with Mubong in The God of High School. He played God, and when he played God, he got that karma too. We saw it in Bungo Stray Dogs recently with the Divine Being's core, with the oh my god, what's the wording I'm looking for here? With the creator of the Divine Blades. They played God. They, in a sense, the swords they created were playing God. And they got punished not by God, but by politicians. Like the fucking dumbass politicians. We see it in Seraph of the End with Shikamadoji. He played God by trying to revive his son. And he got punished for it. You don't fuck with God like that. You don't play God. When you play God, and we're going to see it with Lucifer and Make the Exorcist Fall in Love as well. When you play God, you get punished. Fuck, look at Death Note with Light. Light would play God, and he got fucked. You don't, I'm going to read this quote again, because I think this is very important. People can't go against the flow of time, because if they try to forcibly bend it, they will be punished. I mean, another one, too, is immortality. Look at what happened in Chainsaw Man with when those people got immortality. The longer they lived, they lost their sanity. But yeah, but we'll see what happens with this. We'll see what happens with this. In regards to this case, I really hope it is tied to the cuckoo clock, like I think it is. I really do, and I hope that is tied to this quote. And we'll see how it is tied as well with the black organization. We'll see if I'm right about that, because I mean, like, thinking about it to like how it's tied to what we saw in that flashback, the flashback a long ass time ago when Rum fucked around to like all the fuckery that the black organization has done. That karma is going to catch up with them at some point. But let me know what you guys think about this quote in particular, and also it said when Conan's the other thing that made me think of it in particular was the word medicine too. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, what you guys think. And what do you guys think about this reunion here between Rum and Camel? And do you, like, by the time this case is resolved, do you think it's going to we're going to get like a major trigger here? Do you think Camel is going to die, or do you think Camel is going to realize who that is Rum, or do you think Rum's gonna figure out who Haibara is? Like, we gotta get something here. I swear. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, what you guys think. And remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Nerdigans Inc. Love what we're doing and want to help keep this operation alive and kicking so we can keep bringing you more Detective Conan content. A few ways you could do that. Donate to our Cash App, PayPal, Patreon, Coffee, purchase something off our Amazon wish list. All that's in the description box below. Also, make sure you follow us on Twitter, Twitch, Discord. Friend us on PlayStation Network. That's in the description box below as well. And until next time, Nerdigans, I will be seeing you later. Bye.